Hello and welcome to the short Vort on Parshas Tetzaveh. In Perek Chav Ches, Pasuk Aleph, the Pasuk says, V'ata hakreve lecha es Aharon achicha, ve'es banav ito, mitoch b'nei Yisrael lechanuli. Bring Aharon and his sons to me from amongst the Bnei Yisrael so they can become the Cohanim. The tradition tells us that when Hashem told Moshe this Pasuk, Moshe was grieved. Moshe was sad because he was not to be appointed the Cohen Gadol, the high priest. This, most commonly explained, was because Moshe was punished when he was at the burning bush, and Hashem, God, wanted Moshe to lead the Bnei Israel. He fought back for 7 days, and he said, "Shlach na biyad tishlach, send with whoever you want." And Hashem got angry with this and took away the kahuna from Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe would only be a Levi. Still, we see that Moshe performed the Avodah, the service of the high priest, in the Mishkan during the 7 days of inauguration. And in fact, during all 40 years of the Jews dwelling in the desert, Moshe Rabbeinu served with the functions of the high priest alongside of Aharon. In fact, Moshe Rabbeinu could go into the sanctuary at any time he wanted, and he only had to he could just wear a plain white garment. In contrast, Aharon, the official high priest, he had to wear the 8 garments, and he could only go at into the sanctuary at an appointed time. Similarly, the other Cohanim had to wear the special clothing. So, why is it that Moshe was allowed to go at any time and did not have to wear special garments? So to answer this, we have the Dubna Maggid, Yaakov Kranz, 1741 to 1804, the great Lithuanian preacher who is well known for giving Mashalim to explain Torah thoughts, and that is what we're going to share today. The Dubna Maggid says, as a mashal, as a parable, that there is a king who will have a whole bunch of advisors. Each advisor has a different role, and each advisor wears a different uniform. But they cannot access the king whenever they want. They have to go, they have to make appointments, they have to have specific times. However, there is one very close advisor, the closest confidant to the king, who he can come to the king and has his ear at any time he wants, and he doesn't have to wear a special uniform. And despite that, the fact that he doesn't have a uniform and the other people do, this confidant is a higher rank than all the others. The nimshal, the analogy here, is that while Aharon was the official high priest, he had to wear a uniform, he had to make an appointment in order to do the service in the sanctuary, in the Mishkan. However, Moshe Rabbeinu, who is the closest confidant, he can come at any time and he could just wear a simple white garment. As it says in the Pasuk, V'chol beisi nemanhu, that in my whole house, Moshe Rabbeinu is the most trustworthy. So he could enter whenever he wanted, and he could wear whatever he wanted. So why was Moshe Rabbeinu sad about the fact that he was not officially the Cohen Gadol? He was even higher than his brother Aharon. The answer is, and based on the words in Divrei Yamim Aleph, that while Aaron's children were able to inherit the Kahuna and the Kahuna Gedola, the priesthood and the high priesthood over the generations, Moshe's greatness of being higher than them only lasted for himself. It wasn't shared with his children. His children would remain Leviim. They would not be elevated to the status of Cohanim. So perhaps we can learn a lesson here about brotherly closeness. I happen to notice that this is also the parsha that Moshe seems to get double whacked. Firstly, his name is not mentioned at all in Parshas Tetzaveh, and it's in this parsha that he was notified that he would not be the Cohen Gadol yet, and that his children would not inherit him in that role. So yet in Bamidbar, Parakimel Pasuk Beis, it says, "Ve'ela toldos Aharon u'Moshe." These are the sons of Aharon and Moshe. But it only lists the sons of Aharon. It doesn't list the children of Moshe Rabbeinu. And the explanation there is that because Moshe was so close to the sons of Aharon, it was like he was their father, and that they were his children. And this shows us the closeness of these two brothers, Moshe and Aharon. that when Moshe was returning to Egypt from his stay in Midian, and he was going to assume the leadership role that Aharon had previously had, Aharon was happy for his brother. And the same thing here is that even though Moshe would not be the high priest and his children would not be inheriting, while his brother and his brother's children would be inheriting, he would still remain close to them. He still had that brotherly love. Sheves, hine matu v'manayim sheves achim gam yachad. How good and how pleasant it is when two brothers dwell in joyous occasions together. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful week and a wonderful Shabbos.